Well, hello and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, my Legion Adventure episode 39. You're going to go, hey, why? You did an episode Saturday or Sunday, I think. And why are you doing one on Tuesday? I'm trying to get back on schedule. It was a Doctor Who weekend and comics had to take a second place. I had the week before, I had a little flu, pneumonia shot, hangover, and it really kind of kicked my butt and I couldn't even read a comic. But I went to work, because I'm an idiot. But we're going to get back in the cycle. We're going to have another Adventure Comics today. Adventure Comics 321, The Code of the Superheroes, which I think I really enjoyed. And we're going to talk about that. But a little bit else, we're going to finish up the Defenders-Avengers War on Thursday. I do not know what I'm doing for this weekend, but my birthday's Friday, so I may not do a weekend episode. But I got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of fire. I let some stuff fall behind, but I'm going to get that fixed. And it's not an apology, but I just want to keep your people that are listening. I am thinking of changing format. This week I'm just going to cover one issue. I think I'm going to go to the point to where I cover two issues in an episode and have more of a conversation about some of the creators, and I'll pick a hero in each issue and talk about them and stuff like that. Expand it. So won't be much longer, but maybe a little more interesting. So that'll be next week, though. This week we're just going to get caught up. So this is Adventure Comics 321. Let me get the particulars from the trusty Legion Illustrated Index of the Legion of Superheroes. I am almost at the end of this volume, issue number 2. So, this is Adventure Comics 321, cover date June 1964. Cover credits, Kurt Swan, penciler, woohoo! George Klein, inker, woohoo! Letterer, Ira Shop. The story is a two-parter. Part 1 is the overall story is called The Code of the Legion, which is also the title for Part 1. And Part 2 is called The Weakest Legionnaire. It's a 70-page masterpiece, I think. It's really good. So, editor, plotter, Mort Weisinger, plotter, scripter, Edmund Hamilton, penciler, John Forte, inkers, Sheldon Waldorf and Al Plastino, Superboy's face on the splash page only, letterer, Milt Snappin, roll call, Saturn Girl, Mon-El, Lightning Lad, Chameleon Boy, Superboy, Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, Shrinking Violet, Invisible Kid, Colossal Boy, Star Boy, Ultra Boy, and Matter Eater Lad, Brainiac 5, Sun Boy, Element Lad, and Bouncing Boy, who he loses his powers off camera. We see it in a flashback camera. And he is now a reservist. I will adjust my Legion monitor board this week. The villain is a time trapper. It's the first time he's an active villain. It's a lot of fun. He is a really important character throughout the history of Legion. And this is the first time he really has more than just being in a panel. All right. Here we go. Here's a synopsis. A general alarm goes out, summoning all Legionnaires to the clubhouse. A slim, powerless bouncing boy appears, telling them that he has lost his extra weight and his bouncing ability when he accidentally bounced in front of a matter-shrinking projector. The others vote him into Legion Reserve and then begin discussing the dire menace of the Time Trapper and his impenetrable iron curtain of time. Starboy suggests they use a top-secret weapon, the Concentrator, to destroy his iron curtain, but the mere mention of its name shocks the others. Meanwhile, on two different worlds, Chameleon Boy and Triplicate Girl are captured by unseen foes who demand to know the secret of the Concentrator. Both escape and inform the Legionnaires that someone else is aware of their weapon's existence. When Science Commissioner Wilson calls at the clubhouse to ask if they have such a device, they admit it to him, but refuse to divulge its function. At his suggestion, they accompany him to Athar, a barren planet where they undergo tests one by one to ensure none will reveal the secret under pressure. When Lightning Lad supposedly cracks and reveals the Concentrator's secret to Wilson, his fellow members imprison him for his betrayal. After the Commissioner leaves, however, Lightning Lad tells him his suspicion that the Commissioner is someone else in disguise, and that he gave him a false secret to lead him astray. Superboy and Mon-El use their vision powers to confirm the Commissioner is actually the Time Trapper in disguise. Discovering Lightning Lad's ruse, the Time Traveler causes black, dead suns to hurl toward Althar and the heroes. The Legionnaires use the Concentrator secret to build a machine that concentrates all the power in the universe for the briefest moment to blast the dark suns out of existence. The Time Trapper escapes behind his iron curtain, and the Legionnaire returning to Earth vows to track him down and bring him to justice. So that's a lot. That's a big synopsis from the Illustrated Index of Legion of Superheroes, issue number 2. Let's kind of go through this. Page 1 is great. It is, a secondary splash page. It's got 4 panels. The ordeal of Sunboy, the ordeal of Mon-El, the ordeal of Superboy, and the ordeal of Shrinking Violet. And it kind of gives you a preview of what happens in the second half, part 2, The Weakest Legionnaire. But it has a great comment box, or caption box. Everyone who joins the Legion of Superheroes must take a solemn oath to protect the secret of the most powerful weapon in the universe, the Concentrator. Now, a series of ordeals that might crack the strongest will, and the Legionnaires are shocked when one of their number fails the test and breaks the code of the Legion. So, and then you go to the next page, and you see that Bouncing Boy's skinny, and he is no longer a member. He's a reservist. Aww. And then the next is Ultra Boy, Mon-El, and Superboy doing what they normally do, filing headfirst at the Iron Curtain of Time. He says something for the first time in this one when they bounce off. He goes, "You superheroes cannot pass through the time barrier, but I can. I'm coming back to your time to destroy the Legion." And then Saturn Girl goes, "Time Trapper is now the Legion's greatest danger, and we must strike back at the criminal when our strongest Legionnaires can't pierce the barrier." And you see, then at the 2 pages with, Chameleon Boy and Saturn Girl, Triplicate Girl not giving away the secret, but, they go, wow, someone knows. And then Chief Wilson comes in. He's wearing this new orange and white uniform. He looks like he'd be a member of the cop family in Starman with that red hair. But they go to the secret prison, and there's some alien creatures outside. Basic John Forte 1960s aliens. And I like this lineup, man. It's got Element Lad and Starboy in it. I'm happy. But then they go through their tests. Sunboy with mirrors. Shrinking Violet is the cliffhanger of these projections of these monsters. And everybody gets out. She gets out by shrinking so small that no one can hear her tell the secret. They're given prison rations while they're here. Then Superboy, he gets fake kryptonite thrown on his head. Bonk, bonk. Saturn Girl concentrates on the feat of some of her feats of daring do of some of her fellow teammates like Colossus Boy and Starboy, Invisible Kid, and Element Lad hustling kids at a carny. That's what it looks like. Ultra Boy and Sunboy shedding sun on a darkened city. And she passes, and then Mon-El is tricked by some robots, or not tricked because he can't hear their heartbeats. They try to make Phantom Girl tell the secret. Made him think it by giving her more food. And he was thinking that they would discuss it and get caught, and then Lightning Lad gives it up. And then you find out that it was all a ruse, as it is in these books, that one of the Legionnaires is lying or fibbing or faking something. And at the end they go, no, it wasn't me, it was this. And the Time Trapper throws giant dead suns that look like large pieces of coal or cat hairball into a big funnel. It's interesting. And then, Bouncing Boy introduces his girlfriend, and she's not sure what in the 1960s would have been a triple. Their normal thing is everybody's beautiful and healthy and thing, and Bouncing Boy is looking quite fit. But, his girlfriend looks, he finds her beautiful, and she's just a different body type, and nothing said about it. It's a weird kind of thing, but I'm also going to give him, 10% credit. But it was a fun comic. The art was really good. Actually, on page 3 of part 2, the panels of Saturn Girl are really nice. Very different than some Forte stuff. His more standard poses, and I really liked it. I liked the whole issue. This was a little more denser. There was a lot more going on. in I like these kind of length of comics, and it just was a fun thing. And the Time Trapper, I'm going to pause here and pull up some stuff on the Time Trapper, and we're going to discuss him and how important he is to Legion history. So just bear with me while I go to my notes. So the Time Trapper becomes, I just was reviewing, I wanted to kind of go back and look at some stuff, but he becomes such a big part of it. He appears again with Glorith. It's when we see her for the first time in about 30 issues, I think it's 338. And then he deals with Balser Sargraves. He becomes he's very important at the end when it comes to 0 Hour. I mean, he had a lot of appearances, and I think they use him okay. I think, he becomes a crutch on which, post-crisis, the Superboy is no longer a member in the Pocket Universe, which was not one. I thought it was an odd way to do it. And then he also played a part in the Valor timeline in a way, I think, where Mon-El or Valor is the recommendation. Or not the recommendation, the inspiration for the Legion. But I like 0 Hour. I think it tells an okay story. It's not, it's not the greatest thing. I think it's a little better because you've heard me talk to Jimbo about the reboot, and that I like the reboot. I like it's a lot of stuff was done not well to kind of explain away Superboy. Was that one of the mistakes that they made? As much as I like the Byrne Superman, and I like the stuff that comes after he leaves, the Diamond Era and Death and Superman, that was a sweet spot for Superman for me. It really spoke to me more than other runs. But I do think losing Superboy hurts, and Valor was an okay substitute, and Mon-El spelt differently, and Andromeda were good replacements in the reboot, and I really, really love the reboot. And I do like it when they finally get Connor and now John in, even though I'm not a big fan of Bendis's Legion versus Justice League. I really like the first arc. That he just really hasn't gotten me on it. But I'm going to talk about that later. But the Time Trapper is a cool character. I really like it. And again, I said it's an issue with Element Lad in it and Starboy, which are kind of two of my favorites. And it's just this was a nice, solid Silver Age story. It was a little bit better than the last couple, I think. There was more going on. It is a really repetitive, and I just mean that as a statement of fact, not a judgment, formula for these stories. We're going to Legion of Super Pets next. But next week, we're going to cover 322 and 323. 323's got an Element on the cover. Lad on the cover. And I'm looking forward to it. So they're fun. So Thursday is the last part, Chapter 12 of the Avengers Defenders War. It is a Defenders issue with Sal Buscema art, so I'm happy camper. And starting with that, we will go two comics a week with that. And this weekend, we'll have a surprise. I've got some comics, some trades coming in the mail, and I've got some comics. I mean, maybe I'll do another trip to the comic shop episode. Some stuff coming out that's really good, and stuff that, yeah, it ain't so good, but it's a comic book, and I enjoyed it. If anybody has gotten the DC second tier app, the more expensive one, I'd love someone to tell me what it's like, because I'm thinking about doing it, but you got to pay for it all at once, so I've got to kind of plan it on a budget. And it may help in the long run because I buy less floppies and only buy the stuff I really want. And buy more trades. I'm really looking in. The two trades I'm getting in the mail I'm very excited about. One, I had the issues, so I'll probably sell them, but I really wanted in a trade. And I've got some other things that I'm kind of like, can I find a good copy? And one of them is the DC Comics first issue specials hardcover. That is L12. I'm getting that because, one, there's some issues in that I really love, like the Warlord and the Starman and the Doc Fate. But there's also stuff I never read. And there's a bunch of Kirby in it. And it all going to be used in Tom King's latest upcoming 12-issue thing, Danger Suit, which I'm looking forward to. I like the premise. And I have what I've read of his. Some of the stuff I haven't liked, some stuff I have. But I really liked Rorschach, and I really liked this other trade that I'm getting in the mail, which I will cover. I like those. There's a couple I didn't like as much. I didn't really like. Well, I'll review that one too. I'll save it, but I want to be. I'm enjoying him. He's not my favorite comic writer. No, that would go to Al Ewing. I'm loving his Defenders and other things he's writing. So I'm looking forward to that. So, folks, that was me blabbing on what's coming up. Do me a favor. Be smart. Be safe. Please be kind to one another. We got another election coming up. Just be kind to one another. And read some comics.